Not everything in this world comes with a tag. If we come across something we can't make sense of, we might check the internet or a reference book. If that turns up nothing, you might turn to a well-read friend. And if you're still empty-handed, you might reach out to a scientist, but even they hit dead ends now and then. They were absolutely thrown by the discoveries in this video. Let's kick off this list with number 15, the Gettysburg Rock Curse. At Gettysburg National Military Park in Pennsylvania, park rangers receive a familiar kind of package every few months. Boxes of stones taken from the battlefield, returned by visitors who claim to have suffered serious bad luck. Each parcel includes a letter pleading for the rocks to be returned, often detailing misfortunes ranging from chronic illness to divorce or imprisonment. Some letters speak of sudden health issues, others of unexplained tragedies. The senders almost always express remorse. While rangers don't publicly confirm belief in any curse, they do emphasize that removing rocks from the park violates federal law. According to regulations, disturbing or taking natural materials from protected sites can carry criminal charges. Whether the so-called Gettysburg curse is real or imagined, the volume of returns has turned it into a quiet phenomenon. Whatever drove people to take the stones, something even stronger, whether guilt, fear, or something unexplainable, eventually compels them to send them back. Number 14. Ancient Greek Octopus Mosaic. If you've seen ancient Greek mosaics before, chances are they didn't look like this one. Found in an old bathhouse, it's a pebble mosaic shaped as a large octopus. Though the bathhouse dates back 2,400 years, it was likely constructed atop a mosaic already several centuries old. The pebbles, measuring about 12 feet in diameter, were sourced from rivers and laid untreated. The octopus dominates the scene, but surrounding it are a swan, a dolphin, and a traditional Cupid figure. The original meaning behind the artwork remains uncertain, and it's possible it held no symbolic meaning at all. Whoever commissioned the piece may have done so simply for its aesthetic beauty. The bathhouse itself was built during the era when Ara was known as Amvrakia, a major Greek settlement. This mosaic, likely older than the building itself, now adds depth to what we know about decorative traditions in early Greek public architecture. Number 13. The Pompei Thief's Return. Back in 2020, a Canadian woman named Nicole returned stolen artifacts to the archaeological park of Pompei, 15 years after taking them during a trip. She mailed back 2 pieces of amphora, a set of white mosaic tiles, and a fragment of ceramic wall, accompanied by a handwritten apology. Nicole admitted she was young and foolish when she stole them. But since then, she'd endured breast cancer twice, undergone a double mastectomy, and faced near bankruptcy due to medical costs. Her note suggested a connection between her suffering and the stolen items. Pompei now has a dedicated space in its antiquarium for letters from others who've returned artifacts under similar circumstances, each claiming misfortune followed their theft. With over 100 cases documented, it's hard to dismiss entirely. The idea of cursed objects might sound far-fetched, but the consistency of this account is real. Number 12. Saka Burial Treasure in Kazakhstan. Archaeologists made a groundbreaking find in 2018 when they uncovered a royal burial mound in the remote Ilaki Plateau, deep in Kazakhstan's Tarbagatai Mountains. Inside the mound, they recovered over 3,000 individual artifacts, gold ornaments, gemstones, and ceremonial objects believed to have belonged to Saka nobility who ruled this land nearly 2,800 years ago. The Saka, a nomadic Scythian people, were once considered culturally marginal. But these treasures, necklaces, pendants, plates, and even fine gold beads sewn into garments challenge that notion. Especially striking is the micro-soldering used to join these minuscule beads, showcasing metalwork precision nearly unmatched even today. The mountainous terrain served as a perfect deterrent to grave robbers, preserving the tomb's contents across millennia. The burial's grandeur hints at a highly structured society with elite craftsmanship and deep spiritual traditions. This discovery forces a re-evaluation of how advanced and politically organized Saka society may have been, far beyond the tribal image once portrayed. Number 11. Mysterious carved discs in Vulgrad. Plenty believe that Earth has been visited by extraterrestrial beings, both recently and in ancient times. Yet few offer compelling physical evidence. Whether this next find qualifies as such is debatable, but it's undeniably strange. In 2015, a 12-foot wide stone disc was discovered near Volgograd, Russia. It was one of over a dozen unearthed in the area, all similarly shaped but of varying dimensions. UFO enthusiasts label them fossilized flying saucers. Skeptics are more inclined to see them as geological formations shaped by millennia of natural erosion. However, conspiracy theorists point to white deposits on the surfaces, suggesting a high tungsten content, a dense metal commonly found in military-grade materials. While erosion could feasibly account for the shape, the concentration of these disc-like stones in one region is peculiar. Coincidence, perhaps. Still, even rational observers must admit, it's strange how many of these formations are gathered together, seemingly placed there by intention rather than chance. Number 10. Ram in the thicket. In 1928, excavation efforts at the Royal Cemetery in the Iraqi city of resulted in the unearthing of two profoundly baffling ancient artifacts. One among them has since attained global recognition. It's the sculpture famously identified as the Ram in a Thicket, and its preservation is so immaculate it could easily be mistaken for a piece crafted just last year. In truth, it dates back roughly 4,500 years. Though undeniably a masterpiece of Mesopotamian artistry, deciphering its intended symbolism has stumped every expert who's attempted it. The statue was recovered from the same burial chamber as numerous royal attendants, suggesting it may relate to themes of duty or subservience, though that remains conjecture. Its title originates from a Genesis passage, where Abraham offers a ram ensnared in a thicket instead of his son. But it's unlikely that story inspired this work. The creator's message remains elusive, as does the reason nothing similar has surfaced elsewhere in Mesopotamia. Number 9. Noblewoman's tomb in Sikinos. About 1,800 years ago, a noble Greek woman was laid to rest wearing her most lavish jewelry, interred inside a Roman-style tomb on the island of Sikinos. In March 2018, archaeologists finally uncovered her burial, surprisingly untouched by looters. Her name was inscribed as Nako. What's remarkable is how long her grave went unnoticed, even though it lay within the well-documented Episcopi monument, previously assumed to have been fully excavated. Some now believe the entire monument may have been constructed specifically to safeguard her tomb. The grave's contents included a gold necklace, solid gold wristbands, a cameo buckle, and various metal and glass vases. This kind of wealth implies high social standing, though Nako's exact identity remains unknown. Researchers are only beginning to study her remains and possessions, hoping to learn more about her life, status, and community. For now, she stands as a rare, untouched glimpse into elite funerary customs in Roman-era Greece. Number 8. Bronze Age Citadel in Romania. 2018 proved to be a landmark year for archaeological breakthroughs, especially with the discovery of a massive Bronze Age citadel in Santana, Arad County, Romania. What remains today surpasses ancient Troy in sheer scale. While little is visible above ground, magnetic surveys revealed a 13-foot deep moat surrounding a once 70-foot-tall rampart. Enclosed within stood a palace more than 300 feet long and 130 feet wide, likely built from clay, timber, and compacted earth. Radiocarbon and architectural evidence suggest the complex was constructed 3,400 years ago. For comparison, Troy, at its peak, covered 29 hectares. Santana spans 89. That vast footprint makes its historical invisibility all the more puzzling. There are no surviving written records of such a settlement. Its scale and sophistication suggest political centrality, possibly a regional capital, but one completely lost to memory until now. Questions remain, but one thing is certain. Santana was not a minor outpost. It was a city built to impress. Number 7. The Templo Mayor. Templo Mayor in Mexico City has yielded numerous archaeological finds over the years, many of them grim, but few as striking as the July 2018 discovery of a sacrificed child. Buried at the temple's base, the child is believed to have been killed during a 15th century ceremony honoring the war god Huitzilopochtli. The cause of death wasn't natural. Archaeologists found a wooden breastplate called an anahuatl, an item typically linked to warriors and sacrificial rites, on the child's remains. Feathers and bird wings were buried with him as well, aligning with symbols from other known sacrificial burials. This is only the second such child sacrifice found at the site. The first was unearthed in 2005. The child was a boy, between 8 and 10 years old. These findings provide harrowing insight into Aztec religious customs and how children, seen as pure offerings, played a role in rituals meant to maintain cosmic order and divine favor. Number 6. The Ness of Broadgar. The Orkney Islands have been continuously inhabited for tens of thousands of years. On the island of Orkney itself lies the Ness of Broadgar, one of Europe's most significant archaeological zones. While many unique artifacts have surfaced here, the 2018 discoveries were particularly notable. That year, over 30,000 pottery fragments, early human remains, and a wealth of bone and stone tools were found, alongside 2 polished Neolithic stone axes. One of the axes is far glossier than the other, despite both showing clear signs of prolonged use. The structures that once stood here were built with stone slab roofs supported by wooden joists. It's possible that the shinier axe was used in constructing those joists over 5,000 years ago. The exact name of the original settlement is unknown, but its importance is clear. It was encircled by 6-foot-thick stone walls, indicating a site of serious strategic or communal significance in Neolithic Britain. Number 5. The Anguished Man. The Anguished Man is a painting shrouded in disturbing and dangerous folklore. Its current owner, Sean Robinson of Cumbria, England, claims he inherited the piece from his grandmother, who warned him that the artist had used his own blood in the paint and died by suicide after finishing it. Robinson keeps the painting but refuses to allow a professional examination. He's shared footage on his YouTube channel showing strange occurrences near the artwork. Doors slamming without cause, ghostly figures darting past, and unsettling whispers captured on audio. Though Robinson says he's a skeptic seeking a rational explanation, he also licensed the story for a horror film, raising some eyebrows. Still, no verified provenance has ever surfaced. Without documented history, there's no way to confirm or disprove the claims. Whether it's truly cursed or just wrapped in myth, The Anguished Man remains one of the most talked about paintings among those who study allegedly haunted or spiritually charged objects. Number 4. Busbys' stoop chair. In a small museum in North Yorkshire, England, an old oak chair is suspended high on the wall, not for display, but for protection. Known as Busbys' stoop chair, it's tied to the final curse of convicted murderer Thomas Busby, who was hanged in 1702. Before his execution, Busby cursed the chair he once sat in at a nearby inn, declaring that anyone who used it would meet an early death. Over the years, stories of fatal outcomes followed those who defied the warning. The most recent tale involved a delivery driver in the 1970s, who allegedly died shortly after sitting in it. That incident prompted the innkeeper to donate the chair to the museum, where it now hangs out of reach. The museum has twice refused high offers for the chair, citing safety concerns over superstition. Whether the curse is genuine or not, this chair is grim and scary. Number 3. Mammoth Trap Pit in Mexico. We often imagine mammoths as ancient relics, like dinos, but that's not entirely true. Though extinct today, mammoths once shared their world with our ancestors, and now there's proof that humans deliberately hunted them. In Toltec, just north of Mexico City, archaeologists discovered 14 woolly mammoth skeletons buried in a pit, evidence that these traps were purposely constructed by prehistoric people. Before this, it was believed humans only killed mammoths when they happened upon injured or stuck animals. But the scale and structure of these pits, nearly 6 feet deep and 15,000 years old, suggest strategic planning and group effort. This find completely reframes how we understand early human-mammoth interaction. These weren't opportunistic killings, they were coordinated hunts. And that tells us our ancestors were far more tactical and organized than we often credit them for. It's a rare, clear window into how adaptable and intelligent those early communities were, but the full backstory is still wrapped. Number 2. The Haunted Mirror. The Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville has a long, troubled past. Among its many eerie relics, the most unsettling is a large antique mirror believed to hold the trapped spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her 2 children. According to local accounts, all 3 were poisoned by a slave named Chloe, who had been involved with Sarah's husband. Guests claim Sarah's reflection occasionally appears in the glass, as do fingerprints believed to belong to her children, despite repeated efforts to clean or even replace the mirror entirely. The plantation's violent history includes tales of murder, suicide, and epidemic deaths, adding weight to the claims of haunting. In 1871, William Drew Winter was shot on the front porch and reportedly died on the 17th step of the main staircase, where people today still photograph odd light distortions. Despite attempts to disprove the stories, none have been conclusively debunked. Number 1. The Delhi Purple Sapphire. The so-called Delhi Purple Sapphire is neither purple nor a sapphire. It's an amethyst, and its reputation is darker than its name implies. Stolen. From the Temple of Indra in 1857 by Colonel W. Ferris of the Bengal Cavalry, the gem brought decades of turmoil. After taking it home to England, Ferris and his family were beset by illness and financial ruin. He eventually lent the gem to a friend, who later died by suicide. In 1890, the writer Edward Heron Allen inherited the jewel. Convinced it was cursed, he threw it into Regent's Canal, only for it to be dredged up and returned to him by someone hoping to sell it. Heron Allen then passed it on to a singer, who immediately and permanently lost her voice. The amethyst became known as the Gem of Sorrow. It now sits locked in a box inside London's Natural History Museum, surrounded by charms said to neutralize its supposed curse. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon.